you know what I'm saying, from you know what I'm saying, drinking a lot of water, staying healthy. Definitely cleansing out the system, man. Had a good time when bowling last night. I won the game and then I lost the game, man. But I don't know. I was so good at bowling. But I want to get straight to it, man. A lot of people, I don't know how a lot of people feel about what's going on with sports right now. You know what I'm saying? But it shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Now, what with me doing research and you know doing my due diligence and figuring out like how long the connection was, it might have been longer as well too. But um, the mafia, the mob, whoever else we see is a power structure behind things that we don't necessarily get to be privy to. That's been going on for some time now, you know what I mean? And I kind of want to give y'all a quick rundown on history, and giving, just giving my opinion on um what's what I feel like is happening. You know what I mean? Hold on for a second. But I had a text come in. So yeah, just give y'all my history um on what's on, how exactly we should feel about these things. So this is by way of CNN, NBC News, Associated Press, Fox News, just MSNBC, ABC. So these are all somewhat credible sources if we just talking about information, talking about that. You get what I'm saying? So give y'all a quick rundown on why I feel like we shouldn't be too surprised about it, or the people who are surprised don't be so, you know what I'm saying, so distraught from this shit. You know what I mean? My bad, I had a call coming in. My bad, I had a call coming in. So we got mafia and organized crime groups have long have a long history of involvement in sports, primarily through illegal gambling, match fixing, and exploitation of athletes. This decades long infiltration has spanned multiple sports, including boxing, basketball, and football. Now, boxing was always one of those sports where I kind of had a feeling that they would be involved in it. Not just because of the violence aspect of it, or somebody getting beat up in front of people, and just because people purely enjoy that shit, but to there's less there's like less of a chance, right, for someone not to be controlled because it's only two people that's involved, right? Two people that's fighting in the ring. So boxing is a lot more. It should be a lot easier for you to be like, okay, well, yeah, I could see somebody going boxing, and you know what I mean, kind of like controlling that. It's only two people you got to worry about. Not to say that you know um, people haven't been legitimately boxing. You get what I'm saying? Or people don't love the sport, or people don't, you know what I mean, really want to genuinely just go out there and win matches because they just want to be the best at it. But it could be a lot more control because you only have two people to worry about at the time. when something matters, when you're talking about illegal gambling, when you're talking about match fixing, and when you're talking about exploitation of athletes, right? So two people is a lot more to control. Now, when you start to get into um like basketball and football, it's a lot more factors that go into it. You know what I mean? Because um you got five people, you might have anywhere from 5 to 10 people, so you might have 10 to 15 people on each side. You know what I mean? Naga Naga, I appreciate you tapping in, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you double tap that screen for a like. And I'm giving you a little history on what I personally feel like we shouldn't be too surprised, but I am surprised by how long it's been going on. I'm only 33, and they saying they've been dealing with the mafia and the mob and just anybody in New York families. And I'm pretty sure more families from other areas that also have their hands in this shit. You get what I'm saying? Um, so we're gonna say, you know what? I want to start with the earliest ones, and I'm just gonna give y'all my what I found online. Like I said, it's been accredited. All these have been, double, triple, quadruple checked by ESPN, ABC, NBC, BBC, Fox News. Even though they be lying to us, I'm pretty sure they report on something. There's truth in there. You know what I mean? So just take all this information with a grain of salt. Yet, just know that some of this shit is real, right? So you got to accept the information that they give you, and even when you do more research and start digging, you'll start to find things that they obviously want to hide from you. You get what I'm saying? So we got recent and past scandals, basketball, NBA, and college. You get what I'm saying? NBA and college. All right. So the most recent ones obviously is 2025 gambling scandal. In October of 2025, federal prosecutors charged numerous individuals, including NBA figures, in connection with two major gambling operations linked to New York Mafia families. What's good, Rob's World? What's happening? What's happening? Make sure y'all double tap that screen, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And after this live is over with, make sure you check out some of my videos, man. Let's keep it going. Matter of fact, let me put a poll up real quick. Um, so right now, I just put up a poll. I want y'all to tell me, do you think sports are fixed, right? Um, like I said, in October 2025, federal prosecutors charged numerous individuals, including NBA figures, in connection with two major gambling operations linked to New York Mafia families. One case involved illegal sports betting ring that used insider information on NBA athletes, and we got a touch of that with Chauncey Billups, Tony Rozier, but there has been many more cases like that as well. The other involved former and current NBA players who acted as face cards. They got that in parentheses because that might have been the terminology that they used, who acted as face cards to lure victims into rigged high-stakes poker games. The mafia allegedly provided backing and collected debts. So it sounds like to me that people would use, I don't know, let's just use Chauncey Billups, for instance, right? Because that's already something. So we say, hey, Chauncey Billups, coach for the Portland Trail Blazers. This is a safe environment, safe event. And to my knowledge, they call those people who come in who have no idea about what's going on. They call them fishes. So they'll reel in a couple of fishes, come in, Obviously, these people have a considerable amount of cash. You probably even got to buy in to even get there, is what I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll have um, what they call people as face cards. Chauncey Billups would probably be a face card. They probably got many other terminologies too as well for people coming in, watching the game, trying to fix the game, stuff like that. Now, the scary part about this is the last sentence of what I just read. The mafia allegedly provided backing and collected debts. So when the mafia provides backing, obviously the mafia wants you to pay them back. Doesn't matter how you do it. It just matter that they got their cash, right? And collected debts, you can kind of read between the lines with that. If you don't pay me my debt, you definitely gonna owe me something. You know what I'm saying? And every now and again, it might be somebody's life. You know what I mean? And this can even fall back into the rumors of when Michael Jordan was gambling when he was in the NBA, and a lot of people was saying that his dad was sacrificed because he owed so much cash and stuff like that. So when a lot of people talk about the Illuminati, or we talk about Freemasons, or we talk about, the Society of Secrets and stuff like that, you got the mafia in there, you got the cartel in there too. They just as powerful, if not more powerful, than some of these secret societies, Society of Secrets that we actually know about, that has symbolism that shows that they exist and stuff like that. If you know, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like it's a surprise. It's just that it's a surprise on how long this has been going on right up under our noses. And certain people probably fall into a role and get a job, and they are told some things that they have to follow, because you got the guidelines and rules and mandates that we see, that we can read, that they got to follow, and then you got those under the table, almost street rules kind of, that they have to follow to keep this act going on. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of reminds you back how, if you don't know, entertainment was created to distract the masses for a while. This has been going on since Rome. Like, they say that they had gladiators fight and stuff like that while they were actually like planning wars either against their own, or planning more ways to distract you, or while this is basically, while you see my right hand doing this, my left hand is actually constructing what we really have going on. So it's kind of like we're going to have you look over here and pay attention to this, and the literal time that you're taking to pay attention to this, along with your energy and spending your cash on it, we're actually becoming stronger, and we're actually building up the from you spending cash on something we control, and from the energy that you're not spending on actual laws and governing and stuff like that. Like, we're able to get away with more and more shit as we make this distraction look more luxurious and glorify, and almost put these people on a godly pedestal. You know what I'm saying? When they just pay to distract you. You know what I mean? Let's go into some scandals. Tim Dahani scandal in 2007. It's 2025 right now, so that was 18 years ago. 2007, NBA referee Tim Dahani pleaded guilty to betting on games he officiated and providing insider information to gamblers, some with organized crime ties. Now, we continue to see organized crime ties, mafia backings, collecting debt. So you kind of start to see the trend of wording when we start to get into this. And it's funny that, shout out Joe Budden and them for pointing this out. It's funny that they're showing a lot of black faces and not none of the mafia families, which would supposedly be like white faces, I guess, or people that they don't want you to see or be privy to. And we'll look up those families that are alleged to be, involved in these things. So again, we see organized crime ties, you know what I'm saying? And this is a referee back in 2007. Boston College point shaving, 1978 to 79. The Lu the Lu the Luches crime family. So that's a crime family again that's popping up with associates Henry Hill and Jenry the Gent Burke bribed Boston College basketball players to shave points in games. The scandal came to light after Hill became an FBI informant. So we got people that are snitched too. And we don't like to call these people snitches or whatever because it got something to do with sports or it got, but at the end of the day, man, these people are telling, you wouldn't want to be around these people if you obviously doing something that requires you to be illegal. So, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, how are we going to look at this now, right? So we got some snitches in there too, y'all. Um, the scandal came to light after Hill became an FBI informant. So we got people who tell him, man. And now we're going even further back. College point shaving, 1950s. They didn't even put from 1950 to this. This is the 1950s, right? So that's very important, which means it was just going on in this time. Widespread point shaving schemes run by the mob plagued college basketball in the 1950s. Plagued college basketball in the 1950s, right? So when they say the word plagued, that means you know what a plague is. That means it was not around, it was infiltrated. It would be considered a sickness because of how much this shit was going on. Get what I'm saying? Widespread point shaving schemes run by the mob plagued college basketball in the 1950s, affecting major programs and resulting in convictions. And I'm pretty sure if we look up the 1950 college point shavings, we could see a whole bunch of connections with a whole lot of shit going on. You know what I mean? What's up, baby Grizz? Naughty gang in the building, man. What's up, Beast Death? What's happening, man? Y'all make sure to double tap that screen, man. Make sure to double tap that screen. Also, when this live ends, man, y'all make sure to go check out the new videos and comment on new videos and continue to share the music too, man. Let's continue to keep that pushing. Let's keep it going, man. Let's not forget what I'm here for. You know what I mean? And if y'all would like to donate to the channel, let me know. My bad, y'all. I had to take that call. I just got a gig, baby. Just got that gig, baby. Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. So let's talk about it. Boxing, extensive history. Boxing has a long and notorious association with the mob. What's going on? What's going on, Mr. DuPont? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure you subscribe to the motherfucking channel, man. I might go live again and congratulate myself, man. Might congratulate myself. Appreciate it. Hey, man, make sure you comment on all the videos. Show how much you like me by supporting, man. You know what I'm saying? You was close. You was close. You was close. Extensive history. Boxing has a long and notorious association with the mob, which exploited fighters and uses influence to fix matches. Frankie Carbo. This is interesting. A hitman for the Murder Inc. organization. Carbo was one of the most infamous mobsters to control boxing in the mid-20th century. He had connections to prominent fighters, including Sonny Liston, and fixed fights to manipulate betting outcomes. Shit. Sonny Liston, what the fuck? Jack LaMotta, as depicted in the film Raging Bull. Boxer Jack LaMotta admitted to throwing a 1947 fight to secure a shot at the middleweight world title which was controlled by the mob. Again, this is almost 100 years ago. It's 2025, 1947. That's 78 years. You know what I mean? Sonny Liston heavily linked to the mob. Heavily. Let me say that one more time. Heavily linked to the mob, including Frank Carbo. The former heavyweight champion's career was controlled by organized crime figures who exploited his finances. His mysterious death in the 1970s is widely rumored to have been a mob hit. Amy Quintanilla, what's good? Double tap that screen, like it, man. Appreciate you. Oh, did you donate, Amy? Did you donate? I was looking for you because I was going to make a shout out video for you. Anybody who donates, I'll make a shout out video for them. You know what I mean? Oh, make sure you comment on one of my videos too. As a matter of fact, I got advice to not do this, but fuck it. Amy, go comment on one of my videos real quick and come right back to the live. You good, Amy, you good. But just make sure I can subscribe to your channel. You know what I'm saying? So when I put your name in the YouTube, you know what I'm saying? If I know you subscribe to me, but I want to actually go to your channel and see what you do. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't do nothing, I still want to be able to tag you, find you, share your page, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just so people could know, you know, people fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, I got a gig. I got a legit gig too, man. I got a job. And a job I actually might like too. Gotta call my mom on this. I gotta go take my forklift license, my forklift certification tomorrow. Then I start Wednesday. Appreciate it. So Sonny Liston, I didn't even know Sonny Liston. That was a whole little thing with Sonny. That's fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. Football, NFL. Man, NFL. I knew the NFL was gonna be somewhere in this shit. Player exploitation. This is about the NFL now, y'all. Former Colombo crime family capo Michael Franzesi revealed that the mob will cultivate relationships with college athletes who were likely to go pro. Y'all make sure to vote on that poll too, man. We done had 41 people tap in and I only got 8 votes. Come on now, y'all. Supposed to have at least 30, 40 votes. Y'all tap that vote. Y'all tap that shit, man. It don't take nothing to vote. It take 2 seconds to like the live, and it take 2 seconds to vote. Now, y'all go on and vote. Put that vote up, man. Get this poll going, man. Let me start this over. Player exploitation. Former Colombo crime family capo Michael Franzesi revealed that the mob will cultivate relationships with college athletes who were likely to go pro. These players would be pressured to cooperate with organized crime if they develop large gambling debts. So basically what they would do is sound like they would even fix you having gambling debt. You know what I'm saying? Like they would like lure you in with like, hey man, we'll do this for we'll just come here, you know what I'm saying? Throw a couple, 2,500, 5,000, whatever. And then if you lose a bet and you ain't got the cash, obviously they're gonna add like fucking 50% tax on it. So for every fucking 5,000, it's like 2,500 on top of that. So it's 7,500. It's crazy shit, man. Maybe more. Who knows? I ain't got no information on that. Exactly. So it's almost like you signing your life away without signing your life away. You know what I mean? Players' confessions. In 2025, Franzesi confessed to fixing NFL games decades earlier by exploiting a New York Jets player gambling debt. He explained how a player can manipulate point spreads by making small strategic mistakes. Now, the key thing that you should take out of this: deal with the devil. Yep. He explained how a player could manipulate point spreads by making small strategic mistakes. So what that means is somebody not stretching for that first down, somebody missing a tackle but making it look good enough, a quarterback throwing an interception, the defense not playing well. So now it falls under, well, why is a certain team's defense not great? Why isn't defense so great nowadays? That might be influenced by the people that we're reading about now, that I'm giving you information on now. This is all cross-reference. This is all, to my knowledge, validated information from investigations all the way. Goes back 100 years almost. You get what I'm saying? So making small strategic mistakes, that's one of the biggest details that when people try to say, oh man, that would it's not controlled, it's not fixed, whatever. You kidding me? People are trained to tell you, because if these people can influence you to make small strategic mistakes, what makes you think they can't tell them to play the run? Or you know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling who's in that headset, bro. Ain't no telling who's in that headset, man, nowadays. Anyway, now this is the one that goes back almost 110 years. It's overlooked, especially if the player has always been on point and all of a sudden they fumble and they wrote it off as a bad day. Exactly. They want people to think, oh, he just had a bad game. Nah, he actually had a good game for them pockets, and not just his, for others. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely is something that people are going to start to look at more and more as we get deeper into this world of knowing about who controls it. And there's always been rumors that the mafia, the mob, you know, certain groups of people and races and stuff run it. Now this is confirming it. You know what I'm saying? It's just become more and more into the light. That's all. 1919 World Series. The Black Sox scandal involved 8 Chicago White Sox players who conspired with gamblers, including the notorious Arnold Rothstein, to intentionally lose the 1919 World Series. It almost makes you question, you know, who, like, think about the Patriots. They got caught with cheating, and we still consider Tom Brady one of the best, when this nigga was probably one of the best, you know, via the mob. You get what I'm saying? Till it becomes a regular thing. They know what they're doing. Sad though, it's finally coming out like this, so someone had to have messed up real bad. Exactly. You know, somebody had to tell, somebody was talking too much. Something was going on to where they finally catching up to him. Paul Hornung and Alex Perez. The NFL indefinitely suspended star players Paul Hornung and Alex Perez in 1963 for betting on league games and associating with known gamblers. And those gamblers were probably connected to mob and the mafia. All right. How the mafia and organized crime operate. Illegal gambling. The mob offers illegal gambling services that provide credit, appealing to individuals who cannot bet legally or have substantial debts. So either you come in with a clean slate and they kind of play you into owing them, or you already got debt with them, or they know you're a gambler and you got debts that's outside. I can imagine somebody walking into the mafia and the mob and having them pay off their debts, and now you owe them fucking basically forever, right? Targeting vulnerable athletes. Mobsters often target athletes in vulnerable situations, which is what I just said, such as those with existing gambling problems or mounting debt. This is literally what I didn't even read that yet. By covering their debts, criminals can gain leverage to coerce them into fixing games. That's just simple and plain. You know what I'm saying? Amy, I'm gonna have to pin this comment because that makes a lot of sense. Exploiting young players. Organized crime figures begin cultivating relationships with athletes at early stages in their careers, such as in amateur basketball tournaments, to establish control before they become professionals. So they don't get them while they're in the NBA. A lot of this you see they get them probably, you know, right before the combine, maybe a year, maybe even 2 years. You know what I mean? Before that. And now that I'm reading this more, it goes so deep that we might even have scouts who are kind of paid by the mafia because they probably gamble too, dealing in drugs and women and money and all that too. So they probably got the scouts that are looking for like new professional talent, right? So, man, it just makes you think all the way back on all the schools who had prestigious picks. They probably, the mob and mafia was right behind them, looking at who could be the best in this and that. Oh, you good, you good, you good. So it's almost, when people say sports is the new slaves, in a sense, they are rich slaves because look at what's going on. Rich slaves is a legitimate term for this because yeah, you got $100 million, but you definitely dealing with somebody. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't even want to get into baseball and that whole thing that happened with old buddy with his translator, and that they probably had something to do with that. Who knows, right? Sophisticated rigging. Modern criminal operations use technology such as X-ray tables and concealed cameras to rig games and cheat unsuspecting participants. So there are people who are considered, I guess, fishers who go in and are victims, right? Because they go in because somebody got to pay for this. Somebody got to pay for the crime. Crime ain't organized unless somebody else paying for it, right? So this is something that we gotta really think about. You know what I mean? When we talking about organized crime, it's not just organized because they making people, pay. They have to get people who are not have no idea about it either. You know what I'm saying? And some of those people every now and again get caught up. You know what I mean? My bad, y'all. I had to some text out the way. All right, so we got, what have we been through? We've been through 2025 gambling scandal, Tom Dehaney scandal, Boston college point shavings in the 1950s, the extensive history, a couple of names like Frankie Carbo, Jack LaMotta, Sonny Liston, the football player exploitation, player confessions, 1919 World Series, Paul Hornung and Alice Carraz, illegal gambling, targeting vulnerable athletes, exploiting young players, sophisticated rigging, and last but not least, violence and intimidation. The Mafia uses threats and intimidation to enforce agreements and ensure players and other participants cooperate, creating a high-risk environment for anyone involved. So let's look up Frankie Carbo, right? Italian guy. He was about 72. Was an Italian-American New York City Mafia soldier in the Lucchese crime family who operated as a gunman with Murder Inc. before transitioning into one of the most powerful promoters in professional boxing. All right. So let's see this. And we're going to look up the types of mafias too. The mafia ain't what it used to be. FBI's gambling case shows mob's evolution. When U.S. officials unveiled two staggering illegal sports betting investigations on Thursday, they described the operations as something remnants of a Hollywood movie. One of the schemes, which allegedly involved NBA figures, specialized contact lenses, marked cards, an X-ray table, and $7 million in losses, led to the arrest of 31 people, across 11 states, including members of the American Sicilian Mafia operation, La Costa Nostra. Vic, what it do, man? Hey, Vic, make sure when we get off this live, man, you comment on all my new videos, man. Continue to share my music, man. I appreciate you. I know you be bumping my shit out there and out of the States, man. It's that transatlantic support, man. Shout out to my nigga Vic. Oh, yeah, of course, man. Because this shit be bigger than us, bro. This shit be bigger than us, bro. Make sure you continue. Oh, Vic, I got a competition I'm gonna send you to, man. Make sure you either text me, hit me up on Facebook, or wherever, nigga. And I'm gonna send you the link to vote. You know what I'm saying? I'm in this competition with French Montana and shit like that. Smack URL. And this Jewish dude, I can't ever pronounce his name, but make sure you hit me up, man. Vic, I got you. You got my number still? Make sure you text me, man. Make sure you text me, bro. One of the schemes, which allegedly involved NBA figures, specialized contact lenses, marks, and X-ray tables. Okay, I read that already. Part of what makes the case feel so cinematic is the alleged involvement of the mob. Thanks to decades of film, television, and books dedicated to tales of mafia exploits, the mafia has developed a mythical place in American culture. I got the same number. I got two numbers. Hit me up on Facebook and I'll send you my numbers too. As Ray Liotta said in Goodfellas, we were treated like movie stars with muscle, said attorney Edward McDonald, who, as the real-life prosecutor who managed former mobster turned FBI informant Henry Hill, played himself in the iconic film. That's crazy as fuck. The former prosecutor said that the mafia's influence and activities have changed since its heyday in the 20th century, when blood-soaked tabloid covers bearing news of mafia hits, business shakedowns, and blockbuster trials were the norm. Aggressive prosecutions in the 1980s and 1990s helped break the power of the mafia in New York and took down several prominent leaders. The bottom line is the mafia ain't what it used to be, Mr. McDonald said. In fact, it has evolved, and the poker fixing investigation announced by the FBI on Thursday provided a fair representation of what those activities looked like in the 2020s, former prosecutor said. These families continue to exist and shifted to rackets that were a lot more profitable and had a lot fewer downside of risk to them in terms of years of prison they might face, said Drew Rowe, the former acting chief of the Organized Crimes and Gangs section at the Eastern District of New York. The mafia now involves itself in security frauds, gambling, online sports betting, and so-called boiler room operations that involve elaborate telephone scams, he added. It's crazy. So I'm pretty sure they probably got a lawyer that they're paying out somewhere that's telling them there's certain crimes that come with less time. You know what I mean? I can only imagine that. So in 2022, federal authorities in the Eastern District indicted 9 members of the Genovese and Bonanno crime families on charges of racketeering, illegal gambling, money laundering, and other crimes. In December 2024, former Genovese crime families captain Carmelo Polito was sentenced to 30 months in prison for running an illicit gambling parlor and illegal online gambling scheme. Thursday's indictment added yet another example to the pile. Federal law enforcement laid out an elaborate scheme in which these defendants used sophisticated technology and enlisted current and former NBA players to cheat people out of millions of dollars. 3 of the so-called 5 families, the Gambinos, Bananos, and Genovese, were allegedly involved. When people refused to pay because they were cheated, these defendants did what organized crime has always done. They used threats, intimidation, and violence. New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch said, beginning as early as 2019, the criminal enterprise has set up an illegal poker games that utilize a range of cheating techniques, the indictment states. The defendants use a compromised shuffling machine to rig the decks and a chip tray analyzer that secretly reads cards using hidden cameras. In a detail, more remnants of Mission Impossible than Miller's Crossing, players are accused of wearing special contact lenses or eyeglasses that help them see pre-marked cards. Former professional NBA athletes were listed as so-called face cards to entice unsuspecting players to join the game, according to the prosecutors. Portland Trail Blazers head coach Chauncey Billups and former NBA player Damon Jones allegedly participated in the plan. The illegally obtained information was transmitted back to an off-site participant who then sent details back to a co-conspirator sitting at the poker table, prosecutors allege. The players participating on the scheme would signal each other as the game progressed. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. Very interesting, by the way. Make sure y'all double tap that, like it, share, subscribe. Check out the music when we get off here. Check out the videos when y'all get off here. I'm pretty sure y'all love the content. I'll be right back. So now we're getting word back on what's recently happening, you know what I'm saying? Kind of to stay in touch and up to date with everything. But like I said, this stretches back almost 100 years, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Billups' attorney, Chris Haywood, said in a statement that his client has never and would never gamble on basketball games, provide insider information, or sacrifice the trust of his team in the league as it would tarnish the game and he has devoted his entire life to. Of course, your lawyer is going to say that. He's your lawyer on your side. Makes sense. The NBA announced it has placed Mr. Billups on immediate leave from his coaching position. We take these allegations with the utmost seriousness, and the integrity of our game remains our top priority. Now, I don't believe that because, like I just said, it's been going on for almost 100 years. Obviously, the last names of these families are known. So for them to say that they are taking precaution, integrity, utmost concern, and seriousness, I mean, that's just to save their own ass. You know what I'm saying? The higher you go up, the easier it is to kind of cover your ass. Let's just be honest, right? Federal authorities also arrested NBA player Terry Rozier of the Miami Heat over charges in a related case. His lawyer, James Trusty, denied the allegations and said his client is not a gambler, but he is not afraid of a fight and he looks forward to winning this fight. The case remains in its earlier stages, but the combination of professional basketball intrigue and an alleged backroom mafia racket will likely ensure the case remains in the public eye for months or years to come. The thing the mafia is focused on might have changed and not be as headline grabbing and violent, says Mr. Rowe, now a partner at the firm. But in terms of their ability to affect industries in the city, there are some that still face down organized crime elements of their business. And it continues to be a challenge for people in this city. Man. That's fucking crazy, man. The term Four Families Mafia is inaccurate. It is likely a misunderstanding of the five families of New York City, which are the five major Italian-American mafia families that have historically controlled organized crime in the city. The Gambino, Genovese, Lucchese, Bonanno, and Colombo families. That's funny that their name is Colombo and the name of when football players go to like get their stats checked or whatever. It's called the Columbine. And this is Colombo family. That's fucking crazy. And then Gambino also is like gambling. It's like that shit is crazy how these names is so close to what the name of the activity, like Gambino, gambling, Columbine, Colombo. Like it can't be a mistake. Another interpretation could be the four major Italian organized groups mentioned in Europol. The Sicilian Mafia, Calambrian Nandraheta, Neapolitan Camorra, and Apulian organized crime. Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. Wow. In politics, a mafia state is a state system where the government is tied with organized crime to the degree where government officials, the police, and or military become part of the criminal enterprise. According to U.S. diplomats, the expression mafia state was coined by Alexander Litvinenko. You right, Ian Woke. Let's look up what mafia state means. Okay, so mafia state is a government where high officials are deeply involved or even lead organized crime and the interests of the criminal enterprise become a priority of the state. This means the government and criminal elements are intertwined, blurring the lines between them and making governance a mix of state and criminal functions. Crazy shit. Government complicity. High-ranking government officials and members of the police or military are part of the criminal enterprise. Share interest. The national interest becomes indistinguishable from the interests of organized crime. Policy and resource allocation. State policies are shaped as much by criminal influence as by typical forces, making official priorities a blend of state and criminal goals. Difficulty in analysis. This blurring of lines makes the state behavior unpredictable, which poses a significant challenge to international relations and security analysts. The term has been applied to countries like Bulgaria, Guinea-Bissau, Myanmar, Ukraine, and Venezuela. It has also been used to describe Russia in some reports. Kleptocracy. A related term, narco-kleptocracy, is used when the government is ruled by thieves or criminals involved in drug trafficking have undue influence. State mafia pact. This refers to specific historic instances such as alleged negotiations between the Italian government and the mafia to stop terrorist attacks in the 1990s. That's crazy. Let's see. In the critical interview of Moise Nam's essay in Foreign Affairs, Peter Andreas pointed to the long existence of Italian mafia and Japanese yakuza, writing that there were close relationships between those illicit organizations and respective governments. According to Andreas, these examples speak against indecencies of mafia states. No, incidences, my bad, read it wrong, of mafia states as a historically new threat. In Italy, three main mafia organizations originated in the 19th century. The Costa Nostra, originating from the region Sicily, the Camorra, originating from the region of Campania, and the Drangheta, originating from the region Calabria. Former Prime Minister of Italy, Giulio Andreotti, had legal action against him with a trial for mafia association on March 27, 1993, in the city of Palermo. The prosecution accused the former prime minister of making available to the Mafia association named Cosa Nostra for the defense of his interests and the attainment of his criminal goals, the influence and power coming from his position as the leader of a political faction. Oh, my bad, Joe. Prosecutor said in return for electoral support, Savoy, Lima, and assassination of Andreotti's enemies, he had agreed to protect the Mafia, which had expected him to fix the Maxi trial. Andreotti's defense was predicted on character attacks against the prosecution's key witnesses who were themselves involved with the Mafia. Andreotti was acquitted on October 23rd, 1993. However, together with the greatest series of corrupt cases of demanding polite, Andreotti's trials marked the purging and renewal of Italy's political system. So this ain't just in America. This is happening in Italy and all the other countries that I said as well. The Camorra Casaleschi clan rose in the 1980s, gaining control of large areas of the local economy, partly by manipulating politicians and intimidating judges. The clan was heavily involved in the Naples waste management crisis that dumped toxic waste around Campania in the 1990s and 2000s. The boss of the clan, Gaetano Vassallo, admitted to systematically working for 20 years to bribe local politicians and officials to gain their acquiescence. I don't even know what that word means. To dumping toxic waste. Yeah, what does that word mean? Acquiescence. The acceptance of something without protest. Acquiescence. My bad. Acquiescence. So as we can see here, a lot of people were involved. It just wasn't America. It's all around. Mafia states, exist everywhere. Shouldn't be a surprise that they control the sports, especially if they control the politicians. Not to mention entertainers washing their cash. There's been reports too that, certain groups, I'm pretty sure that got something to do with the mafia and mob, will buy real guns, but use movies and stuff like that to buy the guns legally to arm themselves. You know what I'm saying? And their excuse would be, oh, this is for a movie. But then obviously they'll probably come and take the real guns and then swap it with fake guns. That's my knowledge. So appreciate y'all listening, man. Y'all make sure to look up all this information I'm telling you. I might have severed some of these names. I'm not used to reading Italian and Sicilian names. Got to get more into that. But appreciate y'all for listening, man, tuning in. Until next time, man, be safe, stay safe, man. And just know that the government ain't what it's all cracked up to be. It ain't what we always reading. This shit is controlled by people we can't even begin to fathom how much power they have. You know what I'm saying? Do you have the power to let power go, man? Peace. I'm out.